A cold wind blows down Pennsylvania Avenue. It brings a sense of unease. From the Oval Office, a new order has been issued, an order that has caused concern across the nation. The city of Chicago is directly affected. President Donald Trump has ordered a federal funding freeze. He says it's to reduce government overreach. Critics argue it's a political move against democratic cities. Chicago is preparing for the impact. The White House says the freeze will cut spending on certain programs. This includes funding for important services, Medicaid, university research, public safety programs. People in Chicago are worried about what this means for their city. The freeze has caused fear in Chicago. Families who depend on Medicaid for healthcare are uncertain about the future. Research at the University of Chicago is on hold. Community leaders are concerned that cuts to violence prevention programs will make neighborhoods less safe. The city's essential services are at risk. The lifeblood of the city, it seems, is being slowly drained away. Illinois' political leaders have met the president's decree with defiance. Governor J.B. Pritzker, a frequent critic of the Trump administration, did not mince words. He called the funding freeze illegal and a direct attack on the people of Illinois. His voice trembled with barely suppressed rage as he vowed to fight the freeze with every fiber of my being. Attorney General Kwame Raoul joined the chorus of outrage. He called the freeze a cruel and reckless attempt to score political points at the expense of our most vulnerable citizens. Raoul wasted no time in filing a lawsuit against the Trump administration. He joined forces with 21 other states and the District of Columbia in a legal challenge that promises to be both protracted and bitterly fought. Their anger is palpable. They see this freeze not as a budgetary measure, but as a direct assault on their state. Millions of Illinois residents rely on federal programs that are now in jeopardy. The very fabric of their communities is under threat. They have vowed to fight, not just for their constituents, but for the very soul of their state. The funding freeze threatens to tear at the city's social safety net. Medicaid, a lifeline for over 3 million Illinois residents, hangs in the balance. Parents of children with disabilities fear losing access to critical therapies. Seniors worry about affording life-saving medications. The specter of poverty and despair looms large. Public safety, already a pressing concern in Chicago, faces even greater uncertainty. Violence prevention programs, already stretched thin, face devastating cuts. Law enforcement agencies worry about losing the resources they need to keep communities safe. The very stability of the city, it seems, hangs by a thread. Mayor Brandon Johnson has called the funding freeze an unprecedented overreach of executive power. He worries about the impact on the city's already strained budget. The freeze could cost Chicago an estimated $4 billion, jeopardizing infrastructure projects, public services, and the city's economic future. The city that works, it seems, is on the verge of grinding to a halt. From the steps of the Capitol building to the halls of Congress, the battle over the funding freeze rages on. Illinois Senators Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth have been vocal in their opposition. Senator Durbin called the freeze unconstitutional and inhumane, while Senator Duckworth accused the president of violating the law and playing politics with people's lives. Their pleas for reason, however, have fallen on deaf ears. The president seems determined to hold the federal purse strings hostage to his political agenda. The legal battle over the funding freeze is just beginning. It promises to be a long and arduous journey through the courts. The fate of Chicago, and indeed the nation, hangs in the balance. Will the city be able to weather this storm, or will it succumb to the chaos and uncertainty of the Trump era?